So November's been done for almost 2 weeks at this point. Actually, I think it's almost been 2 weeks. So why not finally do my ranking video for it that I've been putting off for a few days because I was coming back here because you can tell I'm not in my dorm room. I'm back home for winter break. So I thought might as well just do this now. And so November was kind of a hit and miss here. It had some phenomenal movies, but it also had, let's be fair, giant piles of shit. There's no other way to put it, so let's get into it. In last place is Red Notice. I know some people will call blasphemy and call Home Sweet Home Alone the worst, and honestly, I buy that, but Red Notice sucked ass. It really did. It was one of the most infuriatingly bad movies I saw. Now, Home Sweet Home Alone may be worse. Like, technically speaking, it probably is worse. But Red Notice pissed me off in a way Home Sweet Home Alone did. Because I knew Home Sweet Home Alone was going to be trash. I thought Red Notice was going to be good. I had high hopes for this movie, but it let me down. It's not funny. The action is horribly directed. The special effects look like shit, especially for a $200 million movie. None of the actors do very well, and they have two very good actors headlining it, Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds. Godot still can't act, but we all know this. Nothing in this movie clicked. The twist at the end is possibly one of the stupidest I've ever seen. It doesn't make any sense. It wasn't set up very well. Nothing clicks at all. The characters have, like, I could make the argument that Johnson and Reynolds have some chemistry, but it's not the script that's doing it. It's just their natural charisma. Which is why Godot has no chemistry with Johnson or Reynolds, I guess, even though she has very little screen time, because she has no acting talent. This was not quite Sweet Girl level bad, but it's close, because at least you can make the argument about the twist being set up a little better in this one. I can buy it. I don't think it was, but I can see people making the argument, but not Sweet Girl. So this was just a bummer. This sucked real bad. Coming in 8th place is Home Sweet Home Alone. Disney milking another franchise for all it's worth, and we'll get into another one of those when December rolls around, which I've already reviewed. It's Dire Wimpy Kids, so there's no point in even trying to hide it. But this was even worse, because it's not funny, it's not entertaining. The slapstick comedy not only is only for about 15 minutes, it happens in the last third, and none of it's really good. The actors suck. And I know there's some good talent here. I know Rob Delaney and what's-his-face plays Archie Yates. I know they're fine. I don't know who keeps thinking that Ellie Kemper can act. She can't. She's not funny in this. She has no talent. Her acting's just terrible in everything, too. But none of the other characters have any chemistry. Like I already said, it's not funny, but not just the slapstick comedy. The verbal jokes aren't funny. You don't even get a scene of Max's mother realizing that she left him at home. It just cuts to them freaking out about it. Way to cut all the... Do you mind? My dog. I lost my train of thought, but yeah. I got my notes like behind my camera and it just fell. Hang on. This video isn't off to a great start, is it? Oh, for the love of God. There. I think I moved my camera, but who cares? But yeah, this sucked. Don't watch it. Stick with the first one. Or the second one if you like that for some stupid reason, but whatever. In 7th place is Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. The movie I put off watching for a long time, and for good reason. Thankfully, it wasn't as aggressively awful as the last two, but it was so goddamn boring. Nothing happened for a good while. The plot is convoluted as all fuck. Most of the cast members aren't acting very well. Like, they're just not. I think Red Notice and Home Sweet Home Alone broke me. I'm not making a lot of sense here either. But the cast doesn't do very well. The characters are stupid. There are plot holes you can drive a truck through. The dialogue is lame. The effects are not impressive, and the story is just lame. it doesn't make sense. Nothing comes together, and it's all building towards like some big resolution that, of course, is I guess being built up for another movie. Because what fucking movie isn't building up for another film? But you could have at least put a decent film behind it. If it was such a shameless setup for a sequel, you could have at least made it good. But they couldn't even do that. Video game movies suck. They will never be good. Quit trying. In sixth place is Clifford the Big Red Dog. Now, I watched a lot of Clifford when I was a little kid. Which means I haven't watched any Clifford in over a decade. So, I don't care if this is faithful to the show or the books or whatever. But this movie is just lame. This should not have been a theatrical release. This should have been like a Nickelodeon original. And my dog's barking. Great. My dog's just getting in the way of this video, isn't he? I should have filmed it in my normal area. But, nope, I got lazy. I guess I got lazy. So, but yeah, like, the effect for Clifford, the design is decent, but the effect is terrible. He never looks like he's there. Small or big Clifford, might I add. The actors do fine. I do like they kind of subverted the dumb uncle trope where he's not fumbling around, he's trying his damnedest to actually be mature and actually do his job that he was given by his sister. But that just makes the kid a lot more unlikable. Because she's constantly screwing everything up for him when it's not his fault. It's all on her. And none of the characters are particularly annoying, but it also has the one-dimensional, the guys in black, the people in black, the black vans, this evil corporation, but at least they had a motivation, I guess. It doesn't really explain how they're gonna do it, but they at least have a motivation other than just going, I want money, I want oil, I want whatever the hell else these people want. They want to actually help people. So, which begs the question, why didn't they just hang Clifford over? Because they didn't say they were gonna kill him or anything. So, whatever. Movie sucks. Moving on. Bringing us into our top 5 is Encanto. Disney's had kind of a... Sorry, camera again. Disney had kind of an off year last year. It doesn't help that a lot of their films that probably would have been good, or that are good, I should say now, because most of them come out, were pushed back to this year, such as Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and the like. Or no, wasn't it Eternals that was supposed to come out last year? Oh, whatever. So, yeah, it was supposed to be Black Widow and Eternals. So those were both very good, and a lot of their films that were supposed to come out got pushed back. So, last year we had a lot of Disney Plus originals that were terrible. I got stuck with a lot of Disney Channel movies that were terrible. Encanto, then Disney kind of picked up their slack this year. All their Marvel movies have been good, Raya and the Last Dragon was pretty good. Cruella was great. And Encanto is just kind of, I know this has been everybody's loving this movie, I know, but I just didn't. I found this to be boring. I found it to be predictable. I found it to be a bit preachy at some points. The songs were okay, I guess. They were nothing special. They were nothing compared to the songs from the Disney Renaissance. Like, you are not going to tell me that any of these songs are better than a Be Our Guest, Friend Like Me, Under the Sea, Be Prepared. No way. Absolutely not. There was even one scene that basically tried to be Friend Like Me. Did an okay job, but didn't match it. Again, the story it's too small scale. Because I think the trailers are at fault here, though. The marketing team is at fault, because it looked like it was supposed to be this big, great adventure, kind of like Raya, actually. But I don't even think she ever leaves the property. I don't think she ever leaves the house. So, all that just kind of gets thrown at the window. The one character, Bruno, I think is his name, why he left or is just hiding inside the walls is never really explained very well. I think there was kind of a twist at the end where I guess the grandmother is kind of the twist villain of this movie. But not only is it one of those that comes in at the end, it's not even an actual villain, which I do kind of like, but I wish it had been clarified a bit more, because it just seems just come out of nowhere, but it's still an okay Disney movie, far superior to pretty much anything we had last year, so take what I can get. In fourth place is 8-Bit Christmas. Imagine a lighter version of A Christmas Story, and replacing the BB gun with a Nintendo, and you have 8-Bit Christmas. So, I like Christmas Story. I do. I hate Christmas Story Live and I hate Christmas Story 2, but those are tacky bullshit. I like A Christmas Story. This one, not as good, obviously, but I thought this was going to be some cheap sellout, like The Wizard. It wasn't. Kind of felt like it at some portions, but it did actually seem like... It seemed like this was kind of like a spiritual remake of A Christmas Story, but like, okay, we don't have the rights for it. Let's just replace the BB gun with, what can we throw as, what was popular in the 80s? Oh, Nintendo? Okay, we'll use that. We'll pay Nintendo some money to use their system, and we'll make it lighter, and we'll just do a lot more of it. And that's what you kind of get. I do like, well, one thing I really do like is the moral at the end, where Harris's character says, no, I never got the Nintendo as a gift. I worked for it. I worked, like, I think it, worked over the summer or something, until I made enough money to buy it myself. That's a great moral. That is a moral that I feel like kids need a lot more than a lot of this tacky stuff where, oh, he just ends up getting it for Christmas, because of course he does. No, they actually put a really great moral in it. The comedy works most of the time. Some of the characters are entertaining. And yeah, it's kind of just an average movie. It's fun. This is the kind of movie that I'd probably only watch once. It's one of these good movies that, again, I probably only watch once, maybe twice. I may give this another watch when it hits rental. But yeah, just one watch and it's probably enough. Bringing us into our top 3 is Ghostbusters Afterlife. I thought this was gonna suck. And again, much like Encanto, I think the trailers are at fault. Because the trailers made this movie look incredibly lame. Because it wasn't that funny, it didn't do a whole lot, it had a lot of shameless product placement, so did the movie though, but the movie ended up being actually quite good. Although the only thing I will say, there were a lot of references to the older ones that seemed incredibly forced, and I did not care for. I do like how they tie into the first one, though, with Zool. Is that it? And who the villain was in this. I liked Paul Rudd. I liked his camaraderie with the mother. I liked McKenna Grace and Finn Wolfhard as the kid. I don't know what I'm doing with my hand here. I even like the sidekick they have, Podcast. He still doesn't have a name. But he was pretty entertaining, which is surprising. I thought he was going to be the annoying sidekick at first, and he was the sidekick, but he was at least entertaining. I like that all 3 of them had a specific function for capturing ghosts. One of them drives, one of them shoots, and the other one captures them. That's a great idea. And I really like the ending where all 4 of the Ghostbusters, well, with Egon as a ghost, all come together in the final fight. It was a great scene, and I'm glad they didn't try some needless, uncanny valley crap. They did use full CGI for Egon, but at least looked convincing. Because it was a ghost, it didn't need to look fully realistic, but it worked. And I'm glad they didn't try to give him any dialogue. I feel like if they had reused dialogue like they did for Leia and Rogue One, I feel like it would have been pretty forced. And I think this movie sets up another Ghostbusters film, which I am now extremely excited about. So yeah, this probably one of the biggest surprises of the year. Our runner-up is Eternals. Man, this was really close to being number 1. But the Marvel movies have been kicking ass this year. Black Widow is in contention for the 1 and 2 spots for July with Troll Hunters Rise of the Titans. Shang-Chi was easily the best of September. Venom is still the best of October for me. Doesn't say a lot. October had a lot of crappy movies. And Eternals is the runner-up for November, and I can guarantee you all know what the number 1 is, but I'll save some suspense anyway. I do think this movie would have been a lot more well-received had it come out 6 or 7 years earlier. That, much like what people said about Black Widow, I feel like this movie came out too late. That's really the only thing about it, is that it came out too late. Because it's trying to explain 7,000 years worth of history in 2.5 hours. And I feel like you needed 2 films to do this. Like, maybe the first film could have been everything happening, like, in the previous 7,000 years before they all went their separate ways. And then the second film could have been this one. Could have been the modern day celestial rising out of the earth. I feel like that's what should have happened, but instead they tried to cram it all into one. I feel like that kind of hurt the film, and that's probably why it got such bad buzz. But honestly, I don't care. I really like this film. The comedy worked, the dramatic moments worked, the twist villain worked. I usually hate twist villains, but this one actually made sense. All the acting is stellar because you have a great cast, and it turns out the end credit scene, apparently that was Blade. Didn't know that, but that is cool. That sets up that Black Knight could be officially introduced in the Blade movie that I believe is supposed to come out in 2023. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's when it's supposed to come out. But yeah, I had a hell of a time with Eternals. It was a lot of fun, and it's definitely not among the best of the MCU. But again, being among the best of the MCU, much like Shang-Chi ended up being, you have to be almost flawless, really, to be up there. So yeah, Marvel did it again. And number 1 is Tick, Tick, Boom. Wow. Just wow. I am astonished by this movie, especially since Broadway adaptations don't usually agree with me. And if you want more proof of that, go watch my review of Dear Evan Hansen. Because, good God, that movie sucked. But I'm getting off track. Getting pissed at Dear Evan Hansen again. I may have to give that movie the full cinematic disasters treatment, but I still gotta do Space Jam next, and then I'm planning to do a Christmas one. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to put that off. But, Tick, Tick, Boom managed to hit the sweet spot. I like all of the cast. Andrew Garfield is damn perfect as Jonathan Larson. His acting, his singing is outstanding. He deserves an Oscar for this. Give him his... Academy, give him his damn Oscar. You have screwed him over before. Give him his Oscar. I don't care how good Will Smith was in King Richard. Didn't see it, but I don't care how good he was in that. Give the Oscar to Andrew Garfield. He deserves it. But all the other actors do well. Vanessa Hudgens, Alexandra Shipp. Of course, Lin-Manuel Miranda gives himself a cameo in this, because I guess he's that far up his own ass that he has to give himself a cameo in every movie he makes, or has some relation to, I guess, whether he wrote the musical or wrote this film. But his directing is very good. I'm surprised. Like, it's not overly flashy like Moulin Rouge, because it doesn't need to be. It's a grounded story. So I like the way he shoots the scenes. And again, this was everything Red Notice wasn't, or I guess Dear Evan Hansen wasn't. Everything clicked. All the characters' relationships are believable. Everything works. It's just a phenomenal movie, and I've already downloaded the soundtrack for it because I love the songs in it. So, yeah, easily the best film in November 2021. And now it's time to move into December. I've already seen and reviewed Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I haven't seen West Side Story. I believe I'm going to see that this weekend. And there's that Disney Channel movie Christmas Again. I'm probably going to see that. Spider-Man I'm going to see on New Year's Eve, so that one's going to be a couple weeks late. What else we got? What else we got in December? Let's see. That Netflix movie, Don't Look Up. Oh, Matrix. Sing 2. American Underdog. Yeah, so... yeah, that's all I got for November. Thank you all so much for watching. Give your own ranking down in the comments. What was your favorite of November? What did you hate? Did you like any that I hated? Did you hate any of the ones I liked? So... yeah, that's all I got for November, and I'll see you in December, which is now, but I'll see you in my next video.